Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Nerd Rant. I am Dr. Zombrain with my co-host...
It's JJ Wolf, and I guess Call of Duty is a number now.
Yep. Anyway, real quick, I had some family stuff come up this week. Not gonna go into it. Just, if we don't have an episode in the next few weeks, that's why. Should be fine. Just want to throw that out there just in case. I like to cover my bases. I don't know about you. And there's a lot of bases in today's episode. Lots of different sub-things
so many
that we're going to talk about. Anyway, Call of Duty. Yeah, that's what we're talking about. I know, I've been waiting for this. I don't know about JJ.
I don't think he's begging me and pleading to me for weeks to do a Call of Duty episode, and I'm like, let's just wait. Let's wait till we have more info.
Yeah.
But now we've experienced a full week of a beta, so...
I was about to say no, and then I'm like, yeah, no. Every time zombies or multiplayer news came out, I'm like, let's do the multiplayer. Let's talk about this. Take about the field. Yeah, no, I have been absolutely waiting for weeks. Anyway, so yeah, this is currently being recorded on the second day of weekend 2. I was about to be like, it's Friday. No,
first day.
Struggling.
It's the first day we can do. It opened up at 1 o'clock today.
Today? Is it Friday?
Yeah.
It is Friday.
Today? Yeah.
Then why are we recording today? That's why I'm throwing through a loop.
You know, I guess that Saturday. Escaped me too. You know what?
That's why I was we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna roll with it. I'm not saying let's stop. But that is what completely threw me for a loop. And I'm like, okay.
You know,
and I need time because Cool. Anyway,
yeah, no, I was right there with you.
Call of Duty. Where do you want to start? Guys.
So,
yeah, I'm dying. Oh wait, hold up. Crack the roof here. I need this.
Even on a day where we're both like mostly awake and had a plan, and we still somehow managed to find a way that this makes no sense.
So where do you want to start? We got campaign, multiplayer, and zombies.
So I think we should start with like the big hunk of it, multiplayer, and then we can clean up with the details of other things at the end.
Coolio. That works for me. So obviously, just for context, I play Call of Duty. JJ's not. So
yeah, I've played a grand total of maybe 3 Call of Duty games in my entire life.
And how many hours total? How many hours total? Because my friend that I've been playing with has been playing a lot of Modern Warfare 3. And I'm like, cool, I'd probably still beat you. We played an old one, and I beat them. Because I have 300 hours on about 6 different Call of Duties. And then I've also played almost every single Call of Duty. So, yeah. I played a lot. I'm also, not just that, but I'm also in the community. I watch a lot of COD YouTubers. Not too much on the comp scene of COD, but again, just for context. So I'm going to be talking about it in a little bit different aspect, kind of like Fortnite. One person that spends too much time in the casual. Am I wrong?
Yeah. Sigh. That's just the dynamic of our podcast.
It really do be. So, yeah, weekend 1 of the beta's over. First day of weekend 2, we're going to go over some patch notes and then also some con next. So I'm going to throw the floor out to you first, because I don't know what you know, because I know I told JJ watch some review videos at con next. So what do you know about multiplayer? What are you looking forward to? And then we'll elaborate from there.
So, oh gosh, really putting everything in my ballpark here.
Well, I don't know what you know, so like I can like expand on what
my knowledge thus far is I didn't watch all of COD Next. It happened during me working and stuff, and so I didn't get a chance to watch it, and then my car broke, and I watched a couple of videos today that were like summarizing it and kind of giving you the highlights. But in the grand scheme of things, I'm excited. Do I think this is a game I could put my like hundreds of hours into? No, absolutely not. However, this is definitely a game that I could see, taking the place of kind of where X-Defiant is sitting for me right now. Like anytime I want a slightly more competitive, gun-focused game, I could absolutely see myself hopping on here and playing and leveling up some of my favorite guns, unlocking some camos.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I think that's a big thing that I know I've been looking at X-Defiant. X-Defiant's really fun. Don't get me wrong, I still very much enjoy it. but it just has a lack of content that no matter, because I've been seeing so many people, Extra Fight was known as the Call of Duty killer, and there's just so many things that I'm sorry, whether you like Activision or not, Call of Duty does better. I think progression, we're going back to classic prestige. And that's one big thing that I think Extra Fight desperately needed. What do you think about that? Did you see anything about that? Because I know I've mentioned it in passing.
Prestige is definitely one of those things that casuals aren't really going to care much about, but the people who really enjoy the gameplay of Call of Duty, it is almost crucial that it's there, because in, say, 100 hours, you could probably finish out all of what there is to do in a Call of Duty game. And so for those people who still enjoy the gameplay and want to keep going, it's very important that you have something like Prestige there so that they can keep experiencing the game. They still have a purpose, something to work towards that, gives them that increased level of reward that keeps going past just, maxing out guns and stuff.
And imagine Fortnite, right? If we didn't reset our levels every season, and it's just, okay, now what? Like, there's nothing to grind for. I don't know about you, but especially in Chapter 3, I think both of us can agree, our main strive, or at least end of Chapter 2, early Chapter 3, our strive was quests. Like, we wanted to, grind, get levels, complete that level 200 battle pass. And that's kind of what's missing from X-Defy. What do I grind for? I did all my challenges, that's it. So Call of Duty will be bringing back Classic Prestige. There'll be 10 Prestiges, 55 levels each, and then Prestige Master, which will be 1,000 levels. So there's about 1,500 levels, which is great. That's a lot of levels. Each Prestige will give you a permanent unlock token, because compared to other games in the last few CODs, when you Prestige, you go back to level 1 and you reset all your guns unlocks, not the individual levels. So if you play the beta, so say that your SMG is level 20, but it unlocks at level 20. Well, you have to get to level 20 to use it, but that gun will already be level 20. It won't reset that. But say that I don't want to wait till level 20. You can use that permanent unlock token to use it right away. Obviously, you have to get level 4 to unlock Create a Class. But that's going to be, I know one big thing is the combat knife, which is different in this game because we have a designated, but a lot of older ones, a lot of people would do that because that was a level 55 reward most of the times. And that takes a while. That's the end of Prestige, right? So that's coming back. That's going to add a lot of dynamic to it. Another cool thing that I'm looking forward to is, did you see the token for Prestige 1?
No.
Okay, so it's a little zombie dude holding a Tommy gun. And what we learned about Prestige Mode is apparently they're going to be based off of old Treyarch games. So Prestige 1 will be based off of War at War, their first big one. And that means the Prestige token, but all the rewards, because each Prestige will have a bunch of Prestige-specific rewards, will based around a Treyarch game. So it's going to be War at War, BO1, 2, 3, 4, and Cold War. So that's going to be really cool. It's going to really be going back. It's not going to be necessarily a Prestige token from that, but it's going to be based around that. And I think that's just cool because a big thing about this game is going back to what the fans want. So it's going to be, they even said it, it's going to be full of nostalgia from old Treyarch games. So I think that's cool. What do you think about that? From someone that hasn't played it.
I mean, I think that honestly, the past couple of years have been all about kind of embracing that nostalgia, and especially for a veteran video game like Call of Duty, even looking past just Black Ops, the series, Call of Duty is huge, and so there's a lot of people that have played it back when original Xbox, PS1, PS2 were out,
No.
Being able to now...
Not that old.
It was on those. It was on those, right?
Multiplayer didn't come out till 360.
Are you sure? I
PS3.
swear there was a Call of Duty game for...
It might be the original Call of Duty 1, 2, and 3, which did not have multiplayer. They were campaign missions.
This shows how much I know about the series. But my point is...
Well, not just that. Multiplayer
even if there was
exist.
Even if there was no multiplayer in those consoles, the games existed, right? And the elements of those games do carry over into the future games that did have multiplayer. And so they have elements that they can embrace to kind of call back to those players and make them feel, like they're getting something that they used to get.
Yeah. So Prestige, I'm looking forward to a lot. I'm going to see how it goes. It's also going to have more challenges. Here's another thing that's coming out. 100%ers, right? There were calling cards that we can get. That's another thing that X Defiant's desperately missing, and we were told we were going to get like barracks challenges that we just haven't had, which are like calling cards, right, in Call of Duty, but there are a bunch of them. So it's like get triple kills, just get kills, or score, team deathmatch, and each gun has a calling card. And I remember each one I think had 3. You had the max level one where you had to prestige, because in the old days, right, you can get it up to like level 12, and then you prestige the gun itself. So once you get max prestige, max level, you get a calling card. Once you get gold camo, and then when you get both of them, you get a third one, right? So lots of challenges and calling cards. We're going back to that. We're going to be getting a lot of those back, just more things to grind for and really fill that time, which I think is important because what's happened the last few years of Call of Duty, which I know you haven't played, but you can probably experience. Imagine all of that. That's good content, right? And that's what we've had in old Call of Duties. Good or bad?
Probably good.
Probably good. Imagine that, but released over the year because of live service idea. Like, we had prestige mode, but the way prestige worked is they would just give you 200 levels every season, and you couldn't go past it. All of this will be at launch this year. Well, I don't have to wait 4 months to get to prestige 6 or something and unlock this. Like, I can do it all. If I really wanted to, I can get level 1000 the first month.
Which, like, say what you will about Call of Duty Hub, but we do need to keep some games, like, standalone. It's cool to integrate them together and have them be, like, cross-progression and stuff, but you need to have a game come out as a game, not come out as an element to this bigger picture.
Yeah, and that's what's kind of just been screwing it over. It's like so much content is just should not be post-launch. It should be base. And I will say, from my experience, but also what almost everyone's been saying, because I have played the last few betas, this is the most polished and complete COD we have had in a while. It actually feels like a full release. Like, if it launched right now, I don't think people would complain. There'd be balance issues, don't get me wrong, but, like, for actual like, content stuff, it's there. So, fast prestige. Did you see the camos?
I did see the camos.
What do you think about the camos?
They look freaking awesome.
Yeah. So
I'm really excited to see a lot of those in action, especially what was it, the Dark Matter one that has that animation when you fire. It looks so good.
So Dark Matter is a staple of Black Ops games now, and Black Ops 2 was the first game to add diamond camo. And diamond camo is when you get all of the category gold. So all the pistols, all the SMGs, you get diamond. And then Black Ops 3 was the first to add the mastery camo, which is when you get every gun gold. So I get all the SMGs, ARs, shotguns, snipers, all of them gold, you get Dark Matter. And it's been in every game since. And this year, we're going to be getting that in multiplayer, zombies, and for the first time, Warzone is actually going to be getting mastery camos with a gold, diamond, a middle, Dark Matter equivalent. Which is going to be very interesting to see, because think about, like, Fortnite. Imagine I like mastery camos in there where you have to grind each gun. Like, do I have to get, like, a win with each gun or something?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know quite what it's going to be, but they all look great. And so did you just see the multiplayer ones?
Yeah, that's all the guy went over in the video.
Okay, no, that's fine. So it's going to be the same-ish, where it's going to be like, I think it's like dark, it's going to be like Gold Tiger, very similar to all 3 modes. It will have a diamond equivalent, that middle ground, which is Dark Spine, and then Dark Matter equivalent. Zombies, though, is Nebula, which looks all bluey, but it does the same effect where when you shoot, it has pixels, and it goes to, like, the purple-pink, like, Nebula type thing as you fire. And then Warzone has one where it's, like, gray, and as you shoot, it, like, just, has, like, things of blue spreading throughout, and then goes blue and black. So, Mastery camos look great. How do you think you're going to go about... What's the chances of you going for these? Because I know I'm going to go for all mastery camos. Like, I'm going to 100% this game. But as a casual, do you think you might go, like, for a diamond on a category you might like if you really like shotguns? Or do you think you're just going to go for 1 or 2 gold guns that you like?
It depends on how much I enjoy this game after it launches. Because obviously after it launches, there's going to be a lot more people playing, and the experience is going to change a little bit. And there's also going to be a lot more for me as just a user to experience. So if I play it a lot and get burnt out, I can't guarantee that I'd constantly grind away. But if it's something that I can consistently come back to every once in a while, and I don't feel the pressure to have to play it every day, then I could see myself probably maxing out a category. Yeah, I'm probably going for a diamond at the very least.
Cool. Yeah, and again, just like I said earlier, it's just this game's complete, and we don't have this isn't going to be seasonal. This is all going to be available at launch for the full life cycle of the game. We will have prestige and these camos, which is great. So yeah, so I'm really looking forward to the amount of content we're going to have. Where do you want to go for gameplay? Do you want to talk about maps, the guns, or that?
Yeah, so let's discuss some of the maps first.
Okay. So we have now played all of the beta maps except for one. It was, I forget which one. It was a strike map. So we have played, let's start with Skyline, the pool one. What do you think about that one?
I enjoyed that one quite a bit. Yeah, that one is probably my favorite so far. It is nice tight spaces, but also because of like a lot of the high ceilings in the buildings, it allows you to use the Omni movement at its finest.
We can't use that word yet. We haven't talked about that. We're saving that. That's the big feature.
We can't talk about the maps if I can't discuss Omni movement. They're built for it.
No, yeah, Omni movement. We'll talk about the specifics, but I will say Skyline, I think, is the best map for Omni movement. Like, it very much feels like it was for it. However, I don't like it for two reasons. Obviously, I've played the beta significantly more than you, and in that time, people have forced Skyline. It is overplayed. Like, I don't mind the other ones. I get Skyline's better, but I'm already feeling the burnout from it because it feels like every other game is Skyline. The other thing I don't like is just kind of nitpicky, but it's the same thing that I'm not really happy about with Fortnite, and that is that blur from the sun. I really don't like that. Do you know what I mean? Like the really bright light near the pool and stuff. I just do not like them, and I wish there was something I can do, but obviously that's just going to be part of the map. So it's just those two things. But I will say I do like all the extra stuff. How do you feel about the dynamicness of the map? The stuff that you can move, you know, the zip line and the elevator.
Yeah, it does feel, you know, pretty interesting having a lot of interactable stuff there. However, I do think for a map like that, it does flow really well. I will say the elevator part, that's a little questionable. I'm not sure how I feel about that, just because it's not uber accessible. And so if you go down there, 90% chance you're going to be the only one down there. And that's like a good 10, 15 seconds if you're walking through all the way through the vents and everything. You're not going to be encountering anyone. So it would be nice if it were like even just a stand-up size vent. That way you could get through there a little quicker, or just make it, you know, a more accessible pathway.
So, have you played HVT much? That Protect the President type thing?
I did like 2 or 3 games of that.
So, I will say that area is really good for that mode, because the amount of times I'm like, where is their HVT? I'm trying to kill them. They're down there. And there's such like little way to get down there that they're really protected. So I will say I've seen people abuse that already. There's another area that I don't know if you saw. Have you used the explosive car much?
Singular explosive car?
Okay. So actually, this is a Treyarch, just iconic moment, is there's actually a secret path that you can only take with that up on the roof, and you can drop it into that meeting room. You go up like stairs outside. You can only access it through the car. And that's classic, because back in like Black Ops 1 in Nuketown, there was a path like that for the RCXD to get on the other side of the map. So I really like that. That's back. It definitely feels like one of the bigger ones that they're trying to push, and I think it's because it was built for Omni movement so well. Let's see. Scud. That is the satellite map.
I don't like that one.
No? Is it for the head glitch?
No, it's not.
Is there any specific thing you don't like, or is it just the aesthetic?
It's way too open, honestly. Like, there is minimal cover in that map, and I get that not every map is going to have an adequate amount of cover. However, with that one, it just feels like I'm getting hit from every angle all the time, and there's only one spot, which is like that one back room on like the right-hand side of the map. That's the only spot where I can reliably say, yes, I know nobody's behind my back, because I literally have a wall behind me. But because of like the trenches and everything, like having spots you can see through, there's just no way to guarantee that, you know, you're safe from one angle or another at any point in time.
I kind of get that, but I think having too much stuff like that can definitely ruin the flow. I think this is solid. I like it for the aesthetic. that I know I saw someone else say this. A lot of the last Call of Duties have been a lot of remakes or really boring maps, and I want to say the maps here, whether they're good or not, I think you can agree they're decently designed, and they feel unique. I don't think any of the maps feel very similar, and like Skyline is very much different to Scud, and Scud has its very own unique identity, and I'm really happy about that. I will say, it probably is my least favorite of the normal ones, but it's not bad. It's not my favorite. I think I'll have to see about the other ones, but it's all right. I do think the head glitch needs to be a little bigger. Do you know what I mean when I say that?
No.
In the satellite, people that just sit up there and hardscope or something, and then you can't shoot them because all you can see is their head. That really ruins the flow. I think if it wasn't for that, it'd be better. Rewind. I don't think you've played Rewind yet.
Which one was that?
That's the mall.
Mall? Like
shopping
the
mall?
Strip mall?
Yeah.
Yeah, I played that one.
Yeah, what do you think?
I like that one. That one is... I feel like that one itself is a good balance of that kind of like having a big open area and then having a lot of small condensed areas, because it kind of allows you to, if you need to, get a view of what's going on, you can step outside into the street and just make a bolt down. Or if you need cover, if your playstyle caters to that better, you go into the mall and just go through all the doors in that building. And I think the 3 lanes on that map are just a perfect balance of those two different playstyles.
I think the 3 lanes are really well done. So it's not necessarily the whole city of Liberty Falls, but it is in Liberty Falls. It is a strip mall, and the 3 lanes are the stores themselves, the street, and the little storage, like, shipping area in the back. And I think they're very well done. You have a lot of, like, little ways you can get in and out. And I really like that middle store, the movie rental store, because especially in Domination, B is there, and I think it's really good, the amount of ways you can get in. It really makes it well played and chaotic. I forget who said it. I think it was Prestigious Key, but he also said he liked it because it is a place that is realistic. You could actually like walk by and be like, yeah, a war happened here. Whereas all these other ones, you can't really picture that. And it just kind of adds an interesting idea to it, because I can totally... I've been to a strip mall like this before. Maybe not with a movie rental store that big, because this ain't the set 90s, but I've been to a strip mall like that, and I can kind of just picture that a little bit better in like a realistic way, which just adds a little bit to the map. We have Babylon. That's the new one that we just played.
Yep. That one, I like it. It's always nice to have a map that has... I want to say like a gauntlet in the center, where it's like there are 4 entranceways, they all meet, and if you step up there, you're probably gonna die, but who knows?
Yeah, no. So in Domination, that's where B is. And let me tell you, it was chaotic, and I loved it. It flowed really well. Both games, I dropped a lot of kills. I think my first time was 61, 62, which is the highest I've had so far, and I was just using an AR. I wasn't even using like the meta SMG or something. I think the flow works really well. It's like Shipment for the people that know that. It's very much like Shipment, a little bit bigger. And then Derelict, that's the train yard. What do you think?
That one I think I'm the most conflicted on, because I have had some really good moments in that map, but at the same time, a lot of the up and down parts of it are a little annoying. Like, the fact that you can climb up on pretty much anything and everything in that map means that you always have to be looking up.
These maps are very open, and it's kind of fun because it adds to the Omni movement with how open it is. Like, you can really get anywhere and move anywhere.
Yeah, it's just something that you're going to have to get used to, because we haven't really had that kind of thing before. So having to, constantly be checking for all these different angles that somebody could be prone and diving or up top and laying down, like those kinds of things, you just have to get used to checking for that.
So I've played obviously a lot more CODs, and with that I've played the jetpack CODs where you can jump up there, but what's different is with the Omni movement, prone is significantly worse in this game. I feel like so many people are more prone just because it's easier, because you can turn around quickly. Like, you're not as a disadvantage as you normally would be. So, and with the animations, it just kind of feels a little hard. Like, I see somebody laying on their back prone, I'm like, they're dead. Because you can't lay on your back unless you're last stand. We don't have last stand. It's not HTV. No, they're just prone. So it's definitely going to be something to get used to, the prone. But looking up, like I said, if you're used to game a lot of the CODs, but if you've played the Warzone era, right? Because obviously that's a new era of COD with Warzone, and a lot of people have joined since then or re-come back after years and years, and they're not used to it. Black Ops 3 is like a big one, so if you play that, you're used to it. And if you haven't played Black Ops, even then, that's 9 years old at this point. So it's definitely not the easiest thing. I will say. I've definitely been like, oh, where'd I get sniped? Oh, they're on the train car. And then finally, we do have 2 face-off maps. Did you play these? Gala and Pit?
I might have done one match in Pit, but I can't say for sure.
They're just very small, very fast-paced. Pit has like this infinity loop to it, which is kind of cool. And then there's the only problem I have with Pit is there's minecarts, and you can get in the minecarts, and they're really annoying. I don't think you should get in the minecarts. And Gala, the way Gala works is it's like a gala, it's got curtains and stuff. My problem with it is, I don't know exactly why, but it's a lot of curtains. It's not walls. So you could shoot through these curtains. And I think because of that, I've had a lot more lag on this map. I've been pretty good. PC obviously has struggles, but on console, PS5, I have not had too much lag, but every time I get on Gala, there's always lag. And I wonder if it's because no shots are being stopped. All of them are going through every wall. I don't know. That's just from what I know about like ping and like connection and stuff. Could be.
Just from what I know as well, it could be cloth physics. Like, do the curtains move when you shoot them?
No, like they're walls. It's just they're very thin, so the bullets will go through.
Okay. So they're solid objects.
They're solid objects. It's just they're not like going to stop bullets like a proper brick wall or something. So almost every bullet goes through. Which also adds to a little bit of a bad pacing because you get spawn trapped really easily because you can very easily look on the other side of the map and just kill them wherever they spawn because there is no proper walls. Not the worst map, but I think of the beta that we have so far, it's probably my least favorite. Then let's see, we are at 27 minutes. What do you want to go talk about next? Do you want to talk about Omni movement real quick and then maybe some dumps?
Yeah, so I'll throw this one to you first. What have you thought about Omni movement thus far?
So I know I'm gonna have a little bit of a different take because a lot of people have played a lot more games, so they're experienced to more open movement. I've heard it's kind of similar to beta finals. Finals has Omni movement, but it was a lot better in the beta. I will say, like I said, I'm used to a little bit more advanced because I liked the jetpack games. I liked Advanced Warfare, Black Ops 3, Infinite Warfare. So I'm a little bit more used to a little bit more chaotic movement. I'm also playing on keyboard and mouse, which is very different. I did play the first day of controller. And I will say it's not as bad as I thought it was going to be on keyboard and mouse, but I can definitely see the struggle. But I think it really adds a fun dynamic to it. Not just a sweaty, because it's going to add a skill gap. But I think it adds a fun mechanic too. Dynamic. What about you?
I've been enjoying it a lot thus far. Coming from mostly playing single-player games and stuff, a lot of them have mechanics like sliding and even laying prone you see a little bit commonly in a lot of single-player games. So stuff like that kind of translates similarly to this. And obviously diving, that's like a whole new thing. Like you don't see diving in a lot of video games at all.
So I will say, because I'm just letting you know, we've had diving before. Not nearly as fluid as this. It was like called dolphin diving. That's what people called it, not the game. The big difference to what the Omni movement is, because we've had prone, we've had sliding, is the fact that you can do it in all directions. So it's not just diving, but diving backwards. Have you been? It's muscle memory, right? And I've been struggling to break it, but obviously you don't have that. How have you been experiencing being able to side and backwards dive? Because I've been struggling to really break that habit of having to turn around and then dive.
Yeah, side diving I've done a little bit more commonly just because, it's a little bit easier to tell my brain I need to go to the side. So I don't know how to explain it, but it's easier for me to communicate that into controls as opposed to backwards, where it's like I really haven't seen a backwards movement other than slowly walk backwards. So
yeah, so that muscle memory
it's
is
a
really
little hard to communicate
break.
that.
Yeah. Question with the sideways dive. Have you dived off Skyline yet? Because I have.
Yeah.
Like you're on the stairs.
Yeah,
And it's like I'm gonna shoot somebody coming through the pool. Like, oh, that's the roof. That's the floor. That's lovely. No, and I think it just adds a lot to, like I said, it will add a skill gap, but it adds a fun dynamic that I think the casuals can enjoy too. Like, I think prone is going to be really good for the general player base. That supine prone, where you go from your back to, like, your stomach, and you can quickly turn around real quick. Because I've been doing that, and, like, be able to, especially on mouse, just be able to really quickly look both ways while prone, while I'm capturing a point or something. So I'm very happy with it. Another thing that I think is good, but again, I don't know what your thought on this. I think it's very fluid. I think they have done a really well job making it work. How do you think with what you've seen?
I agree. I have not once seen, like, both in my character and other people's movements, I have not seen once, like, something that looks like it's missing frames or clipped animations or any of that. Like, it all looks like it's moving super fluidly and realistically to how a body would move if it were trying to perform that kind of maneuver. So,
yeah,
honestly, well done to Treyarch.
Because, yeah, I've seen so many people bashing. I can't believe they spent 4 years on this map and this and that. It's like, a lot of these people are probably just haters. Like, I understand Call of Duty ain't your thing, and they've definitely screwed over their player base a lot, especially lately with, like, the mod that just came out. But it really does show, like, there is a lot of points about this game that feel complete, like I said, and polished. And Omni movement, though it has problems, because I will say, I don't know if you've experienced this, a lot of people have been saying they've been feeling a little motion sickness with the game. And they're actually, in the patch notes this week, they said they would reduce stuff to work with motion sickness. Like, they're actually addressing it, and we'll cover that in a second. But I think, though it has problems, because it's such a new thing, I think it's very much polished to the point of launch. Is it perfect? No, but I think if it were to launch in the state it is right now, I don't think we'd have problems with it.
Yeah.
So yeah. Do you want to go over some guns, and then we can go over the patch notes, and then we can move on to zombies?
Sure.
So we're just gonna, obviously we don't know all the guns, so we're just gonna, I have the progression pulled up, so let's just go through all the guns that we have in the beta so far, and just talk about good, bad, any one specific that you want to mention. So first, AK-40 or AK-74, classic gun. It's nothing really special about it. It's an AK. You know, it's in every COD, unless you have anything. Actually, let me ask you, have you experienced a lot of the guns? Because I've used every gun decently.
Yeah, so I've not used every gun, but I will say I've used probably one from every category. Like ARs, I've used the XM for that one, so...
Cool. So yeah, AK is normal AK, nothing special. Next gun that you unlock is the Jackal PDW. How do you feel about that one, especially with most of your time being weekend 1? That was really bad.
That's
not
mostly
bad.
What I used.
No, not bad. It's just, it was so good that it was like outperforming every AR at every range. Like, it was, every game was just filled with crazy sweat and Jackal Ws. So.
Yeah, I will say, most of my games were either SMGs or ARs, just because with how this game is styled, run and gun is a lot more popular, so you're not going to see as many like LMGs or marksman rifles that are like heavier weapons unless you're on something like Scud.
Yeah. I will say, we'll talk about it. It did get nerfed, and I'll talk about it in a minute, but yeah, no, I like it. I thought it felt really well. It was good. It was just a little too good, and it did get some tuning, which it needed. Level 12, unlock Stim. We're not going to talk about all of these, but how do you feel about Stim? Because this is your first COD with them, and I will say my first Prestige will probably permanently unlock these, because they've been in every game since Modern Warfare 2019, and I throw it on every class, and this is the only tactical I ever use.
I don't know what I would do without it already, to be honest.
Yeah.
I forewent creating my own class so I could use the stim until I unlocked it. Like, I literally used
completely
the
valid.
SMG preset because it had the stim.
Yeah, and it's not just healing, but it also resets tax break, which I don't know if you knew. So, especially when you're like a sweatier player, but it's more for the health. It's like, I want to get... Because this game, because of the way it works, the regen's just a little slow in this game compared to the others. And with a fast TTK, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage if I don't use Enforcer for the perks or have a stim. The 9mm. This is the second pistol. The little smaller one. Have you used that one yet?
I have. Pistols are never really my thing. Obviously, it's a secondary, so a lot of people are like, oh yeah, I'm going to go strictly secondary. So, there is that. But, like, pistols, as long as it is a good opposition to my main weapon, like if I have a fast-firing main weapon, I want a slow, powerful secondary, and vice versa. As long as I have something that fits that general idea, I don't really care what it is or the specifics of it.
So that probably want to be the 9mm, but I think it has like an uncapped fire rate. It's semi, but you could shoot it really fast, but it's a little weaker. You have the sniper. Did you do any sniping?
I've done a little bit of sniping. I have to get used to it because it's different. I don't know what it is, and I haven't quite placed it yet, but it's different than a lot of the other sniping in games that I've done.
Call of Duty sniping's very unique. I will say, though, they've had... I don't know if it's bugs. It's just some things. When you're scoping in, there's just a little bit more sway, and it's not exactly center to the actual center, the sniper skill. There are some problems with sniping, and not necessarily just for quick scoping. I will say there's more problems with that. But just the sniper itself just feels a little buggy. So it might not just be you. It's just this sniper might just be a little iffy. The aim's 85. You said you just used the X4. That's another AR. So, I know we got some new guns, but unless somehow JJ has leveled up farther than me in the last 30 minutes, I don't think he's used them.
I'm currently level 21.
Yeah, so let's see somehow beat me. So let's talk. I think so. The XM4. You said that's the main AR you've been using. Good, bad?
Yeah. I like it. I'm not one to always use ARs. I tend to drift more towards SMGs or a kind of lighter weight LMG. So ARs aren't usually my go-to, but I will say it felt really good starting out when I did use the AR. It felt pretty balanced. I think mainly, obviously I was using the preset, so I didn't get a chance to play with it because I went immediately to the SMG after that. But it would have been good if I were able to tune a couple of things. Like, I feel like the preset, at the very least, the sprint to fire did feel a little slow on it.
Yeah.
That was like one of the main things that stuck out to me, and
Definitely,
reload time could have been a little better.
Yeah,
but those are all things like you could unlock mod score and
there's a lot of
change things
attachments for stuff like that. Mine's level 30, so I've definitely went for the speed build more for what the levels I have. C9, it's the MP5, pretty generic SMG. Shotgun. I don't like the shotgun. Shotgun sucks. Hey. I think it just... I hope there's some other ones. It's just this specific one, just I could not get into. We have one LMG. It's an LMG, nothing crazy. And then we have the SWAT 5.56. I know I said I was using a little bit. They had a little change today. But what did you think so far? I don't feel it's a marksman rifle, first of all. I don't think the SWAT's a marksman rifle, but it is in this game.
Yeah, it's rough with this one, because, like, yes, it technically does have the range capabilities, but it's almost built a lot more like an AR. So it's one of those, like, weird in-betweens where, yes, I could see it being an okay ranged weapon, but I think this one is more going to cater towards the people who want to be more fast-paced in their range play.
And it does have the capability of a one burst. I've struggled to hit that, but if you do get well enough, and I think I just need attachments to speed it up, it's pretty good. So we're already at 40 minutes, so I'm just going to quickly scroll through some of these patch notes today, and then that's really it for multiplayer, because this is the beta, right? So there's so much more that's going to happen at post-launch, and I think probably maybe like a month after, maybe a week or two after launch, when we both play it a bit, we'll be able to do a proper one. But, so we got the new levels. lots of speed increases to make speed faster, except for the SMG, because the SMGs were already faster. Melee especially. So the Jackal did get nerfed by 3 damage and just less maximum damage range, which I think was good. And that last game that we were playing, I was using it, and I definitely felt it. It's still good, it shows good handling, but it's definitely not melting as fast, and I think that's good. The C9 got a little bit of a buff, the SWAT change. Maps. So I'm going to quickly read this section. This is they're working on the spawns, and I don't know if you felt this. The spawns were kind of rough weekend one. This is a quote from them on their update to this. Our long-standing definition of a quote-unquote bad spawn is any time a player deals or receives damage within 3 seconds of spawning. This is a cornerstone of building the spawn system and does not change regardless of the map size or game mode. We use this metric, among others, to track bad spawn rates for Black Ops 6, meaning that if you dealt or received damage within 3 seconds of weekend 1 in the beta, we saw it. As an example, our core mosh pit entry with the highest bad spawn rate in weekend 1 was Domination on Skyline at a 4.2%. Yada yada. While we're generally happy with our averages, we also know that the average consists of worst cases and we're considered to assess this throughout the lifetime of the game. Already good. But here's something that I really like. We also recognize that we each have our own definition of what a good spawn or bad spawn is. That's not always just about combat situations. For example, did I spawn too far away from the hard point? Or why am I spawning at the same side of the map as the enemy team? The overreaching spawn system and emplacement of spawns in map are crucial for the flow of the match. It is our goal in Black Ops 6, as it has been with every prior Black Ops game, to have a predictable spawn system that results in head-on engagements with your opponents, yada yada. They talk about they're going to evaluate. That right there is just so promising because they're really hearing feedback and they're addressing it. We're not just being ignored and not having any patch notes. They're not just saying, hey, we worked on spawns. Here's our idea on spawn, and we're listening to it, and we understand that these specific problems are a thing that's happening, and we're working on it. How do you feel about that?
I do like that they're kind of communicating their perception on things. It's cool to see that instead of just, trying... Like, it's good to communicate with the players, and it's good to take their ideas into account, but it's also important for the players to accept that they, as, the people developing, have their idea of what they want, a good or bad spawn to look like. And we can base our judgment of whether or not our spawns were good or bad off of, well, does it fit that metric? Is it, too detrimental to be applied here? Or, similar comparisons to be made. It's cool to see that they are going the extra mile of letting us know how they are looking at it.
Yeah, I like that too. Not just saying, hey, we heard, you're spawning on the enemy side or something, that they're telling us exactly what their metric of a bad spawn is with others, right? Like they said, where the point of objective play is or something. But I really do appreciate that. And that just gives me hope. There were some other changes, score streaks, movement, weapon XP got increased a little bit, again, with the games that I played today, which I generally do pretty well. I get especially today, I've been getting 40 to 60 kills. My levels have been significantly better, so I definitely think XP gain is better. Audio is better. Some other stuff, and a big one, reduce the amount of camera motion in the dynamic death cam. What I was talking about with Omni movement, a lot of people have been saying they feel almost motion sick when they die because the camera just follows your head. So if you plop, it follows you. So it seems like that's been reduced, and I definitely feel that a little bit today. That's really it for multiplayer, unless you have anything else you want to talk about. Like I said, it's the beta, so there's not that much we could talk about that is guaranteed.
I have one question, because you'd probably know about this. In terms of the, daily challenges, is this how this kind of stuff typically goes, like what we've had in the beta so far, or is that, going to change once the full game releases?
These three the 3 challenges, or just the system itself?
Yeah, having the 3 daily challenges there.
Yeah,
and,
we'll probably have them.
Reward.
Remember how I talked about the 100%er, where you can complete all the calling? Those should also give XP. So the way a lot of the calling cards used to work is there's the kill one, right? You have to get a kill, but there's 5 stages, and when you complete that 5th stage, you get it. So it's get 100 kills, 500 kills, 1,000 kills, 15, 25, etc. And every time you complete one of those stages, you get 500 XP, 1,000 XP, 2,000 XP, whatever. So there will be more ways to earn XP other than just playing the game and the daily challenges. But especially with the Warzone integration, that has been something that's been pretty consistent, is some kind of daily challenge. Though I have not played since 2019, so it's changed. So, yeah, let's jump in.
Shall we jump into zombies?
Let's just quickly go, because we only need 5 minutes of campaign, because we don't know much about the campaign. So I just want to quickly hear your thoughts for the community. What do you think about campaign as someone... Actually, also, if you're interested, you might be able to hear it. I have the Modern Warfare 2 campaign, and JJ's kind of in the background. We're kind of far away from the mic, but you can kind of hear his thoughts on it. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
That was fun.
I hope it's better than that.
It's not going to be that. Not even close. And I mean that in the best possible way. It will be significantly better.
I am interested to see how they do it, because I myself have never been one to personally super enjoy campaigns that are just like mission after mission. I'm one who likes going off and exploring, finding optional stuff, not necessarily side quests, but like collectibles and that kind of thing. So if this campaign does have that kind of thing where there's even like Easter eggs, like I know you mentioned Zombies has Easter eggs and stuff like that, if they were to bring that kind of idea over to campaign and stuff, I would be all over that.
So probably not, but so the way it works is it's going to be somewhat missions, but it's going to be kind of different than the last one. But there will be a safe house where you select your mission, and there's a lot of stuff you can find in there that is like intel, and you can collect intel to complete side missions, like bonus missions, that you have to complete like puzzles for. Like I remember the last one I had to like decipher a code from these 2 different mission types. I had to replay it to find the code. So there's some stuff, but this one's going to be fun because we saw a mission actually and what we can do in there. And there's a lot of quick time events, but there's also just general... So the mission we saw is we had to take a retinal scan of somebody, but we had 3 different options. So we had 3 different people in that specific mission that we could choose how we're going to get it and then get it. So that already adds a lot to the mission versus just one simple way, left to right, A to B. So there's that. There was one that we saw where we were like fighting through a kitchen, and we had 2 options. We could either smack them with a cutting board or shove their face in the fryer. So it's going to be a little gruesome because it's Call of Duty, but it's going to have a lot more dynamicness to it, which I think is going to be good. And obviously for someone like you, it seems like there's going to be at minimum 2, you're going to want to play the game at least maybe 2 times. Not at least, but you can play it 2 times. And that is the running gun option, where you do just most of the missions running gun, just guns a-blazing. And the one where you do stealthily take it and go behind the scenes, which I think is what you're probably going to go for. I'm going to go for all of it. But I definitely think compared to other Call of Duty campaigns, this is going to be significantly more towards your style and a lot more to do. I know a lot of people are scared about the length of it. I think it's going to be around 8 hours. So that's not great, but think about it, like all the stuff Call of Duty has. But that's one playthrough. So imagine doing all the side missions plus playing a second time and doing everything. You probably can get 10, 15 hours out of this one. I'm hoping. I don't know. But
and me being, a casual, 8 hours is completely doable. Like, as somebody who doesn't know if they're really ready to play like a 20-hour Call of Duty campaign, 8 hours is consumable.
None of them
me. And if that's the first step it takes to get me into the game, then so be it. And that would have been a good move by them to make it a little shorter.
So none of them are that long. I think if anything, the problem is some of them are too short. Like last year, I think was 4 hours. That's short. 4 hours is not great. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. We'll see how it goes. I'm going to be streaming it. But anyway, yeah, zombies. There's a lot here. We're not going to cover too much because it's just still a little uncertain. But what have you seen about zombies so far? Because I know you just watched a video.
Yes, so I watched a video of it was from one of the people playing zombies at COD Next. He was pretty much just talking through it, all the mechanics and the things on screen and the stuff they did as he was playing through the rounds. It looks pretty awesome, not gonna lie. I would absolutely play it in third person.
I'm so excited to see obby movement with third person. I think I'm gonna do both. I'm gonna do everything. Like, there's every option I'm gonna try, but I definitely could see the advantage of third person. It's gonna be really fun.
Yeah, I think in zombies especially, I still don't know about things like multiplayer, or if campaign has that option, I don't know. But zombies is absolutely one where I think third person is going to be the way to go.
Absolutely. And then with that, just HUD. I know a lot of people are complaining about the HUD, and there's a little bit of problems, but I will say, just like multiplayer, which we didn't mention, you can customize the HUD. Did you experience that at all? Did you go in, look at the different HUD options? You could also change the color for everything.
Yes, I did. I went through, and it's nice that they have so many options. I very much found that helpful, and it's good that a lot of them line up with other games. So, if I'm coming from being, a Halo veteran, I can find the HUD layout that I'm used to and select that.
So I will say something that I'm looking forward to is, obviously, we have some HUD presets. For zombies, there will be specific ones that they give us. Multiplayer, I saw that apparently, not a jailbroken, but, if you do something, there will be a fully customizable option. So I can move where I want my ammo and map to be anywhere on my screen. It's going to be fully customizable for multiplayer. Zombies, not so much, and I understand why, because there's a little bit more to it, so they need it to be a specific way. But there will be some styles, I could turn off the health, I think I could turn off the health bar or something. So there's some stuff that you can choose. So there's that. So we're going to have 2 round-based maps. We're going back to round-based zombies. Both 2 maps. There was Liberty Falls and Terminus. Liberty Falls was the one that you probably saw, the daytime one, right? So Liberty Falls, that is the quote-unquote Warzone casual one. I've seen a lot of people bashing it because it doesn't look zombie enough. And to that I say, every town map instantly does not engulf in lava after a zombie apocalypse. I don't know why every zombie map has to be nighttime and engulfed in smoke and lava. It's kind of annoying. It
depends on the zombie apocalypse. Is it a virus released by a volcano?
No, it's actually released from ancient demons and deities from an alternate reality.
Sounds like a Marvel movie.
That's legitimately what zombies are from this, by the way. In Call of Duty Zombies, they are from these demons and gods from a different realm that summon to our reality. And there's different realities that we've gone through in the zombie storyline. We're in the dark Aether storyline right now. It's really complicated. So there's gonna be 2. So there's Terminus, right? Liberty Falls. So that's the daytime. It's gonna be a little bit more casual, a little easier, and you could probably see that, especially from the daytime. And it's from an operator standpoint, meaning you can use any character. And it's set during the day. The other one's set during the night because it's at the same exact time, and that's gonna be the main one with the harder Easter egg. Which Easter eggs are going to be very complicated. I don't know how it's going to go in this game. And I know if you've never done an Easter egg, but the way they work is there's a lot of steps you can do. Sometimes you have to... I remember on the Alcatraz map, there's little hounds on the wall, and they summon out, and they're actual hounds. And you have to kill zombies around it to fuel a generator to do this, to do that. It's one of those types of things. And you have to figure out where you go next. There is no guide to it, in-game. You just have to mess around and figure out the steps. Some of them are very random, and then some of them are kind of obvious, like the Hellhounds. Especially after so many years, you kind of get used to some of the stuff. So they're going to be fun. I've never done an Easter egg either, but I've seen people do it. So I'm looking forward to that. Anything else that you saw with zombies that you really stood out to you? Or that you're curious about that I might be able to answer something?
I will say a couple of changes from zombie gameplay that I've seen. This one feels almost more arcadey than immersion focused. This you have damage numbers and stuff now, and what else was there? All of the HUD elements and some different just things to interact with in the world. It makes it feel a lot more an arcade experience rather than a let's immerse you in this zombie kind of game mode.
I will say the interactions probably aren't that new. They've probably been around since Black Ops 3. But the HUD elements and a lot of that kind of stuff, that's what I said Warzone and multiplayer. The HUD definitely changed in Cold War to get a lot more Warzone players into zombies. So it's a lot more towards that. That's where the health bar is, the damage numbers. But say that you're a hardcore or you're a classic player and you don't like that, there will be the option to turn off health bar. I know I kept the damage numbers on, but I can totally understand when to turn them off. And I think if I'm really playing, I'll probably turn them off. But the option's there. Yeah. So there's that. Gumballs. What do you think of the gobble gums?
They are chaotic.
They are chaotic, and that's the point of them, and I'm so excited for them to come back. They were...
Just the couple that I saw them use in the one video, like, literally, it's just teleport to a random location. Obviously, there's the practical use of, like, I'm about to die by this zombie horde, just teleport me somewhere. But that somewhere could be in the middle of another zombie horde.
Probably so, like, not just because trailing, like, yeah. But yeah, like, I think
the
it's
fact
smart
that
enough.
It's a random location. Like, it doesn't even guarantee that it's going to be far from the location that you already were. It's a random location, so it could be 3 meters to your right.
I think the way it works is there's kind of like areas, like rooms. I think the random location is like a center point in a room, I think. Because this isn't new. This was in BO3 and I think BO4 as well. I think that's how it works, but don't quote me on that.
I would have to see enough to see
if
there's any consistencies, but yeah.
I can't guarantee that, but I think it's not necessarily like anywhere. I think it's just a random room in the map. And it has to be unlocked, right? So you can't get in a locked room.
Yeah.
So the gumballs are great. They're going to add a lot to it. Pack-a-punch. What do you think about Pack-a-punch, but also the way the guns look when you Pack-a-punch them? You don't know what I mean.
Honest, I didn't get to that part of the video.
Okay.
I know what you mean because I've seen that used and yeah, but I didn't get to that part of the video.
It's nothing super crazy. It's just most games are gonna have unique zombie camos like when you Pack-a-punch them. So they're cool. New perk, melee mocha. Instead of having a knife, you just punch them. Except they launch them back, and I think you can one shot to like round 12 or something, which is really good. So before you can one-shot melee round 1, and then round 2 would be 2-hit. And then with a Bowie knife, right, because that's an upgraded like combat knife, you can one-shot to round 10, but this perk will allow you to do that up to round 10. I think a little bit fat. Maybe around 20. I'm not sure.
Wait, so what happens if you combo the perk and the knife?
It removes your knife. Like, your melee is a punch now, because it knocks it back as well. So the Bowie knife won't do anything, I think. I don't think it'll increase damage or anything. One cool thing that I'm looking forward to see how it works is, in Cold War, we had perks that we can upgrade, and those perks are everything. So I can upgrade my melee, like, 5 times. I can upgrade my SMG 5 times. I can upgrade my AR 5 times. And I didn't like that because it was outside of the game. So I can max out everything and just be an absolute beast, which I don't like that for zombie gameplay. I think every zombie round should be the same, and you start out with basic stuff. Like, you have to upgrade in said round. So I don't like that because I remember, I forget who I was playing with, but they played and I had it, and they were killing everything and I was struggling. But then when we went to OG zombies, they were struggling to do anything because they're used to having all this overpowered stuff. It was really funny. So I preferred that way. So to find a middle ground, instead of being able to upgrade everything, you have major augments and minor augments. The major augments might be like that Bowie knife on round 1, like you start with it. Whereas the minor one might just be close range SMG crit. And I forget how many you get to choose, but you also don't get all of them, you only get a few. So instead of being able to upgrade every single perk like crazy, I get to choose one perk in that round that's going to be a little bit better. So I like that because I think that's a good middle ground, because it's not as overpowered, but it's also nothing. Like, you do get some bonuses. There's apparently like 150 of them. Augments. So that's going to add a lot, and those are per class, I believe. So that's going to be really fun. And then there's just a few quick things that they have changed for just quality of life. You can now share points for doors, which is really nice. If you're playing solo, you could save and quit. Great feature. If you're playing and I can join you mid-match, like, that's great. If I DC, it will autosave and I can join later. So my internet goes out or something. I think there's a lot of quality of life things like that. Anything else that you're thinking of? I'm just quickly looking through here.
Not really, no.
Did you see where you can turn yourself into the mech or something by shoving like this injection into your arm? And then you turn into, what is it? Oh no. mutant injection. It looks so cool, and you just become this big beast with like a big old gun that just shoots energy beams. It's really cool. It's like Brutus. You probably saw that skin. It's a big skin like that. So we got a lot of cool stuff like that. Gobblegums are back. Perks. Yeah. The final thing that I want to talk about is director mode. Did you hear about this at all?
No.
So I know a lot of people were complaining and like worried because they're trying to go too much to casuals and the campaign multiplayer Warzone community. One of the Easter eggs, do you know how many people completed it? Percentage? It's a launch map, by the way, so you had the entire life cycle of this game to complete the Easter egg.
3%.
Close, 5. Only 5%, which is not great. And I understand the idea that it's supposed to be hard and we shouldn't cater them, but instead of catering to them and making it easy, they made everyone happy. They added director mode, which will be after the season launches or the new map launches or whatever. There will be a director mode later in the life post map, and that will help you complete the Easter egg by locking the side stories and locking the rounds to do something. I forget. I was just talking to someone at work because they were playing like an old zombie map, and they were saying, yeah, I was struggling to get this part, and I went up to like round 26. I should have been done at round 15, but I took 11 rounds to complete this step. What this director mode would do is it would lock it at round 15, no matter how many zombies you kill, to make it easier. Because you definitely could get to round 50 when you should be done at round 20, because you mess up or you don't know, right? You're learning. It's for the casuals. But the difference is, you don't get to do the side stuff. I don't think you get to continue after the Easter egg. Like in the main mode, you can continue infinitely until you die after the Easter egg, whereas before you would stop after you complete the Easter egg. This, you can't do that. You can't do side, and there's even cosmetic rewards like calling cards and stuff, and maybe like a Rit camo or something, or blueprint that you get for completing the Easter egg before the director mode comes out. So once that mode comes out, you can't earn those rewards anymore. So how do you feel about that real quick? Because that's like the final big thing that I'm really looking forward to. Not that I'm going to use it, but just like you said, for casuals getting into it, if you've never played zombies before, I think this is a great way to introduce you to some maps.
I mean, I feel like in some capacity, it's cool to see, but at the same time, there's always the people that use YouTube tutorials and stuff. Like, there's instructions on how to get there. Obviously, you don't have the nice, like, locking you for rounds and stuff like that, but you have things that can guide you through with or without. And while you say 5% is a small number, there are simple achievements for a lot of my games that I play that are like 2% of gamers have unlocked this. 2% of people who play the game actually went and unlocked that achievement. So it's like,
yeah,
in reality, 5% isn't really a small number. In the grand scheme of people who actually play the game, only probably 15% actually go after Easter eggs hardcore.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like the difference between like an achievement versus an Easter egg. There's just so much that like you've probably never even seen, all the different side stuff, but like a lot of Easter eggs have crazy audio design and boss fights that sure, you're going to figure it out, but it's not going to be the same versus you having fun to experience that. And I think that's a lot of the fun that the hardcore players do experience, because you just watching a tutorial to do this doesn't feel the same. So it's that middle ground where sure, it's going to help you out, but you still get to do it yourself versus watching somebody do it step by step. Does that make sense? Because imagine...
I guess so.
Imagine God of War Ragnarok, right? The Zeus fight, not the Zeus fight, it's the Thor fight. You know that one? Where you die?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine just not being able to see that. Imagine only 4% of people being able to see that. That cool fight with cool mechanics and everything. That's what this is.
No, people are able
cool
to
mechanics.
see that. They just didn't figure out how.
But you being able to play that versus watch that are very different. And that's kind of the thing here. Like, sure, people can see the boss fight, but being able to play it's very different. And it's really hard, even with the steps, because of that thing. Like, I tried doing it. It's like, well, I'm sitting here trying to look around the entire map for 15 minutes, and I accidentally went up 5 rounds because I'm trying to find this thing. So it's just giving people more, especially the casuals, more freedom. But it's not compromising the normal players, because the normal players still get their normal Easter egg, and it's going to be harder than normal and stuff like that. Like, I think it's a win-win. And I think it's just, like you said with YouTube videos, is really, if we're going to have YouTube videos, what's the problem with just having an in-game option?
The problem is that then there's a difference in rewards.
Yeah, but if you're going to be playing, like, I don't think it's going to be, I think it's going to be like a month or two. So you have like a month or two to complete this, which should only really take you like an hour or two. So if you're really going to be playing it, and like actually like playing zombies, then yeah, because afterwards there's just a lot of things that change. Either way, whether they had the director mode or not, just the way zombies works, it would change too much. Just with how the game works. But I'm interested to see how it works. I don't know what those rewards are either. So if it's just a calling card, I don't think it's that big of a deal. If it is a full skin and cool wrap and camo that I can use on everything, that'd be a little different. But I think it's just going to be like a calling card or Easter egg type of thing. Maybe like a spray. And let me tell you, if you're complaining because you did not play early enough for a spray, you have other problems. Why are you crying about a spray? like there is significantly bigger problems. But yeah. So I'm going to be playing it and grinding it. I'm having a good time. From all the stuff that you just heard, that you've seen, and the little bit of the beta that you've played, out of 10, how hyped are you? And out of 10, how good do you think this game's going to be? Not just excited, but like legitimately, especially as a casual person that doesn't know all the cool stuff that's coming, just from what you've seen, out of 10, how good it's going to be and how hype.
Probably 6 for hype, 8 for quality.
I think that's solid. I don't think that's bad at all. I'm 10 for hype because I'm just excited to get back into zombies. I'm 9 for quality and like how good it's gonna be. Just because there's stuff like skill-based matchmaking and stuff, I'm kind of worried to see how it handles, and just the skill gap and balancing they're gonna do. I hope they don't like ruin guns or make guns super overpowered trying to balance omni movement and stuff. Like X Defiant. I don't want movement to be ruined because too many people are complaining. So I'm just kind of worried there. But yeah. Yeah. By the way,
we should probably end this episode because we're 6 minutes over.
Yeah. Lots to cover. Just want to quickly mention for people that know, do you want to upload this today, or are you going to upload it tomorrow? Tomorrow. So the beta still should have 2 days live. You should have Sunday, and I think it ends Monday at 10 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, I believe. So it's free for everyone. Go check it out, get your opinions, and let us know in the comments what do you think. Or join the Discord and talk to us about zombies and Call of Duty and things and shooting.
Pew pew.
Pew pew. I'm Dr. Zombrain.
And I am Gunboy.
Bye. Bang.